After spending months in a Russian prison, Brittney Griner finally admitted that yes, she is guilty. She did it. She brought cannabis oil in her luggage in a vape cartridge into Russia. And now she's been sentenced to 9 years in prison. And everyone has put their 2 cents in, including President Biden, including the mainstream media. Already, you have the rumors ramping back up that the Joe Biden administration, the Joe Biden White House, is willing to trade one of the most well-known arms dealers in the world for Brittney Griner. But one person who's catching a lot of heat for them coming and speaking out about this is Kamala Harris. Harris labeled hypocrite for condemning Brittney Griner's jail term. And there's a good reason for this. Vice President Kamala Harris was accused of hypocrisy after she decried Brittney Griner's conviction by Russia on cannabis smuggling charges, despite Harris prosecuting thousands of similar marijuana possession cases in her earlier career as a prosecutor. I've said many times, I don't believe that Brittney Griner deserves to spend 9 years in jail for this. With that being said, there's people in this country that are locked up for that amount of time or longer for a marijuana possession charge. Maybe it's because of their third strike or their circumstances or whatever. And with all that being said, when you go to a foreign country, you need to abide their laws. Like, you can't just do whatever the fuck you want because you're in another country. Even if you completely disagree with those laws, you have to follow them. Brittney Griner, by her own admission, did not do that. And now she might spend 9 years in prison. That's crazy, but it is against the law in Russia. Griner was sentenced on Thursday to 9 years in prison after she admitted to bringing vape cartridges containing cannabis oil into the country. The verdict was met with universal condemnation from U.S. diplomats. President Biden said the sentence was unacceptable. Kamala Harris released a separate statement on Twitter. With today's sentencing, Russia continues its wrongful detention of Brittney Griner. She should be released immediately. POTUS and I and our entire administration are working every day to reunite Brittney as well as Paul Whelan with loved ones who miss each of them dearly. I would rather you focus your efforts, I'm just going to be real honest, I would rather focus efforts on bringing former Marine Paul Whelan back, who's been there for like 4 years, than I would on Brittney Griner. But maybe that's just me. But Harris's many critics were quick to point out that while serving as both San Francisco DA and California Attorney General, she oversaw thousands of marijuana-related prosecution and was an outspoken critic of pot legalization. Look at some of these. Brittney Griner got 9 years for drug possession in Russia, which sounds like most of the criminal sentences Kamala Harris got for people the same thing when she was Attorney General of California. LMAO, didn't you lock up a shitload of people for weed, then brag about it? Here's another one. Kamala Harris had nearly 2,000 people locked up on marijuana charges. Another one. You locked up people for possession of marijuana, and you're only condemning this because the U.S. can't profit from her incarceration in Russia. It is interesting to see like the blatant hypocrisy of so many people out there. Once again, I think it's pretty easy to separate it in your mind, the fact that, you know what? No, Brittney Griner should not have been locked up she shouldn't get 9 years for doing this. I fully believe that that is way too much for what happened to her. However, when you look at the law in Russia, that's what the law is. You can't bring that in, and it's punishable by up to 10 years in prison. But to have the same people who locked people up for a similar thing say, this isn't okay, she's being wrongfully detained by Russia. No, you're playing politics. You're virtue signaling. It's bullshit, and people see right through it. I hope this does come to a resolution that doesn't include us giving them a renowned arms dealer. But this is Joe Biden, so we'll see what happens. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.